Welcome to GabTalks, where we provide tools, tips, and techniques to help your life and business be easier, better, and faster. Hello, hello. How are you today? I am Gabriella, and this is our next episode of GabTalks Success Tips with Experts. And today I am so excited I get to bring to you my good friend and fantastic expert, Miss Sue Wilhite. Sue, how's it going today?
Hey, Gab, it's so good. I've been so looking forward to being on your show. I have been just, oh boy, I get to do this today.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. How exciting. All right, so let's jump right in. You and I have known each other for, 2 years now. So I know that you're an expert, but can you please tell our audience what it is that makes you the expert that you are?
Well, I help women who are in transition. They're really successful and they've come up against that, what the heck? What's going on with my life? And I help them transform that into having an epic life by doing a combination of sound healing and coaching. The sound healing gets it out of their way, and the coaching helps them move forward.
That's awesome. And you and I have talked about that. And I can tell you guys, Sue did a sound healing for me. And oh my, did it help release some things that I had no idea were there blocking me. And it was amazing. So Sue, will you please tell our audience a little bit about you and how you got to where you are that makes you this amazing expert that you are?
Yeah, so I started out being in information systems, and I was a programmer, I was a database designer, systems analyst, and I was really good at it. And I was so good at it that I ended up giving myself an ulcer. Now, part of the reason I gave myself an ulcer is because it wasn't, I want to be clear about this, because a lot of people who are in the computing world, they're into the computers. I was into the people. I wanted to make people's lives better by giving them programs and tools that they could get out of work faster. They could basically do their jobs more efficiently and go home to their families or their terrariums or their Grand Canyon excursions faster, easier, better. That was my whole thing. And it gave me an ulcer. So I had to find something different. And unfortunately, medication was the only thing I had, which I hate. I hated taking meds. I don't want to take meds. I don't want to take meds for the rest of my life. This was not my thing. So I had a friend who was having some real difficulty in her life, and she started taking hypnotherapy classes. And she came to me and said, oh, you've got to come to this hypnotherapy demo that my teacher is doing. And please, please, please come. And I know you think it's all BS. And, and so I did. And I ended up being the demonstration. There were about 15 people in the room, and he picked me. And by the end of the evening, I had no more ulcer. No more volcano going off in the middle of my gut. No more meds.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So one of the questions I ask our guests, and you kind of already started explaining this, is what is it that was a major influence in you becoming the expert that you are? So again, you've already started telling us about that. Will you please tell us more?
Yeah. So I gave notice at work because I decided that I was going to be a hypnotherapist. And I was so lucky that one of the premier hypnotherapy schools in the region was, or in the nation, was in my region. I ended up not going to the guy who actually helped my ulcer. I went to somebody who had been in business for 20 or 30 years, taught people all over the world. She was so knowledgeable, and she had this lovely balance of here's the anatomy, here's the chemistry, here's what's going on in the neuroscience, here's what's going on. And oh, by the way, there's miracles, and there's spirit, and there's a bigger thing than we know about that comes into this. So she had this lovely balance of left brain, right brain approach to hypnotherapy. And I took every class for a year and a half. I took everything she had. And it was amazing. It just absolutely set the foundation of my interest in mind-body connections.
That's amazing. That's so inspirational. So will you please take a look at this and your background and history? And if you went back to that 20-year-old self, and we also have some younger folks in the audience that are starting out that might have an interest in knowing, what one piece of advice or tip would you give that might change the path and bring you to success and expertise that much more quickly?
Well, thank you for letting me get on my hobby horse, because you probably know this, Gab. People are number one. People are the most important thing. I don't care what kind of business you're in. People are foundational to your business. So create relationships with your customers, create relationships with any vendors that you might have. Go out and create alliances, JVs, go get mentors who will help you. Actively seek them, cultivate people, because that's where your success comes from, not from the latest and greatest new thing that you've got, whether it's a product or a service. The people are what matter.
Absolutely. You are speaking my language.
Bye.
Hello, hello, awesome listener. Thank you so much for joining us today at GabTalks Success Tips from Experts. We're going to take a short break and take a moment to thank our sponsors. It is because of their generous support that we are able to bring to you all of these amazing experts, where we're able to interview them and get their best success tips for you. So please take a listen to what our sponsors have to say. Global Prosperity Academy, GPA, is a community of like-minded individuals that are heart-centered and mission-driven, focusing on high-level communication training, leadership development, and strategic community building. Take a look at the video in the link below and see how GPA is right for you. You've all heard, and you know how powerful it is to send thank you cards, notes of appreciation, and gifts that build and maintain relationships. However, writing and sending generic impersonal greetings and gifts one by one just is so overwhelming and takes so much time. Not to mention, these days, who wants to deal with lines at the post office, running out of stamps, or having to print stamps yourself? And then there's the embarrassment of missing an important date altogether. Yikes. So what can you do? If you go to marketyourbiz.guru, you will be able to get help with your greetings and gifts that are printed, stamped, stuffed, and mailed automatically for you. Make sure that you tell them Gabriella sent you. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor now to you to give some of your best overall strategies and tips to help our audience to lead them down the path to success.
Yeah. So going back to the people are what matter, start with yourself. My favorite thing to say, it came out of my mouth during a coaching session, and I've now adopted it as kind of a tagline. No one will value you as much as you do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. So if you don't value yourself, nobody will value you. So if you come to somebody and go, well, I'm kind of doing this and I'm not really that good and I'm, just starting and nope. Tell yourself that you're running a six-figure business and you just haven't caught up to it yet. But get it in your head that that is who you are, that is your identity, and put yourself forward with that kind of energy, with that, literally that vibration, because that's what attracts people to you. Nobody wants to go talk to somebody who's a Debbie Downer, right? Nobody wants to talk to somebody who puts themselves down. They want somebody who's excited, who knows they're on the way up, and they want to help you. And this is my other success tip, and it really is. People want to help. Really successful people want to pass on their knowledge, their success. This is what they live for. They don't want you to go through the pain and agony that they did, or they'd like to reduce it a lot. So ask for help. Just ask. It's okay. And if somebody rejects you, go on to the next person, because they will want to help. I think those are my two biggest things. And putting yourself out there as somebody who is ready and willing to learn and really excited about what it is that you do, and that you bring your whole self to whatever it is that you do, that is the key to success.
I just tell you, I've done quite a few of these interviews, and I mean, you and I know each other, so you know me pretty well. Your words just now hit an emotional chord with me. They really did. Because you've seen me in the last few years, and you've seen me move away from the person that kind of kicks myself to grow into this true authentic self. And you and I happen to know many of the same people, and we happen to also share a particular mentor with each other. And I didn't understand how powerful it is to have somebody as a mentor until I started working with that person. Now, I'd had plenty of mentors in the past, but it's different when you have somebody, you tap into their skills and their knowledge versus that person is identified as your mentor. So your words today actually, I don't know if you saw my face, but they did actually hit an emotional chord with me. So thank you so much. Do you have any other tips that you would like to share with our audience before we close the interview?
Well, I think it all really comes back to people. This is my number one thing that I tell people, that I tell entrepreneurs and wannabe entrepreneurs. If you don't have people in mind, then you're not going to succeed. It's just as clear as day. You could have all the gadgets, all the, like I said, when I was doing information systems, it wasn't the computers that were interesting to me. Although designing a good, tight database and a system and everything flowing, and you press a button and all the bells and whistles go off, yeah, that's satisfying. But if there's no people to use it, who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let me catch my breath here for a second and say thank you so much for giving me this honor to interview you today. If our audience wants to reach out to you and find out more how they can work with you, will you please let them know how they can contact you?
Yes. So I found out recently that you could just Google me. I'm everywhere now. You can go to my website, which is sweetsoundofsuccess.com. You can go to Facebook and find me. I've got the banner of my award-winning show, my interview show. This also called Sweet Sound of Success, the hero's journey for the entrepreneur's soul. You can find me occasionally on Twitter. I don't do much on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can Google me on YouTube, which is really fun, and find all of the interviews that I've done. And that gives you, different facets of my history and what I've done, because everybody gets roughly the same answer, but from a different perspective.
Right. Absolutely. So you guys, all of Sue's contact, her social media, her website, and everything else is going to be down below in the notes and in the description. Make sure that you click the subscribe button, and don't forget to click the reminder so that you get notified when our next episode is coming out. We look forward to seeing you. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We hope you got value today. We want to give a huge shout out of gratitude to our contributors. Please make sure you click the subscribe button below, and don't forget to click the bell up above to get reminders when we add new content.